Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly commodities update. And this is where I do analysis on natural gas, oil, US dollar, gold, and silver. We'll be looking at their support and levels as well as the most likely scenario where price might head to later next week. And Monday's holiday. So let's get started on looking at natural gas. So natural gas for me right now still looking good after it broke out of this downtrending resistance, rejection, and confirmed a daily uptrend here. We are just pretty much going stair stepping up on the daily. And so let's zoom in to see if we have more clues, if there's any red flags on this move up, or we're continuing up on this move. So we're zooming to the 4-hour, right? And we're looking at 4-hour EMA 12 for me, this teal looking line. There's no red flags for me at the moment because you can see every time we go below it, we end up closing above it and just keeps on bouncing off of it. So that's just the short term, right? As long as you can just say, as long as 4-hour EMA 12 is acting as support, nothing changes. So bulls are in absolute full control. So let's talk about a little bit of the red flags if it does happen, right? Obviously, at some point, this is going to turn around. So far for me is this first higher high lacking follow through, right? So we made a high here, and then we just came back all the way down, and then we just slowly grind, finally made a new high and zero follow through. So that's just the initial slight red flag for me. For all we know, next candle could have just go like this, right? And then that wouldn't be a red flag at all. So this is just a little point we want to point out. Nothing too crazy at the moment. And the next thing, so if this starts to break for our EMA 12, right? This comes up, this breaks, and then kind of like here, and these ones, but we don't come back and close above it. So we break, bounce, and then back test it, and now it's acting as a resistance, and then it rejects. So that would be the first shift for me when it rejects. And the next shift would be breaking this upper trend line for me. So this is just a short-term trend line, right? Support. And if we do come down to it, let's see if it bounces off a support as well. If we do break the 4-hour EMA 12 and back test it as resistance and confirm 4-hour downtrend and break through this trend line, then I would say short term, probably bears are back. We might form something like a big tiny range overall. So zoom out. So it'll be like a big equilibrium. So big move down, big move up. We don't make a new high, right? We don't get here, and we just continue to tighten up, which does make sense, right? If we come back out of here, the next level I want to see it bulls hold is this 3.4. 3.4 is a very key zone. You can see all these zones battle support, resistance, support all the way here, now acting as resistance back above it. So now when we come down to it, it's going to act as support. Big picture, right? Big channel. Support. Sorry, resistance. Support. So this is the big picture, right? Obviously. And this is just the short-term trend line. So let's see if the short-term trend line breaks, and then let's say we continue to tighten up, right? We can tighten up like this into this big channel. But as long as if bulls continues for our uptrend, right? We just, as you know, one day we go like this and then continues to grind up, then we have a chance to test this $4, right? If we break the $4 range, then we have a chance to test the 4.2. Break 4.2, then we have a chance to test this upper trend line of the channel, right? Close to this 4.4. We'll see which way ends up working out. All right, that's like for you guys for natural gas. And if you guys want to learn more about technical analysis, how to better your trading, how to change your old habits, how to change your sticking points, as well as better understand price action as well, how to set your stop losses and everything, and become a consistent trader, check out the Patreon link. And if you guys just want to talk more about it, book that free 15-minute call, and we can talk more about it. All right, let's take a look at oil. So honestly, oil is just a monthly tightening range for me still. Right, we're on the monthly time frame. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, still tightening up. So as long as we don't break these pivots, we're continuing to tighten up, and it's getting really tight. So let's zoom in, right? A lot of people are short-term traders, so we can zoom in to see what's going on at the moment. So we are on the 4-hour time frame, and yeah, it's really not doing anything after this big move up. So this big move up came up, hits resistance, right? After that, far downtrend confirms, and we have just been coming back to chop range for the daily. Daily downtrend still intact, far downtrend still intact. So as long as we keep making lower highs on each bounce, right? This is a lower high, meaning this high is lower than the prior high. This high on this bounce is lower than the prior high. This is a downtrend. We do see on Thursday you got this little poke below and no follow through. Right, we broke below and didn't get any follow through, and we bounced. But we also rejected from here again. So you can see this red line was where we broke out from, right? Resistance, 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 broke out, right? Came back to it, back test, support, 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 5 times, right? Finally cracks through it. Now we're back testing and now it's acting as resistance. So that's a little bit of a red flag for me. If this was a lack, no follow through, and we bounce back above it, then there's a good sign that we may potentially get a reversal here. But now that we, back tested and now it's acting as resistance, it's still not that good of a look for bulls at the moment. So bears, as long as daily downtrend intact, bears are in full control. And if we do break below, I'm looking down closer to the 69 zone. And if we break through that, I'm looking back down to the 66 and 67 zone. This cluster of support and resistance here. So let's see if this holds. If this holds, and bounce back again, right? Then we're looking for like a tiny range to break either way. Continue to tighten out. All right, let's take a look at the US dollar. So, okay, so US dollar finally, well, not finally, but it broke. So we had a rising wedge, I think a long time ago over here. Like this, and it broke bear. Got this big bounce, and ends up now it's becoming tiny range. So this tiny range ends up breaking bear right there on Thursday. We're getting a little bit of follow through on Friday. So that's a good sign for dollar bears because we are getting that daily downtrend follow through now at the moment. So initial move, lower high, lower low. So it's a downtrend on the daily. And we are now testing this structure pretty much. You can see the bottom of this wick is pretty much just top of this wick. So let's see, you're right, if it's a shallow bounce, get another lower high, lower low, and then we can break through the structure. That would be the best ideal for, excuse me, that'd be the best for dollar bears. For dollar bulls, you want to see at least a big bounce where we come back all the way to test the low of this 52 high structure. Right, you can see this bounce, 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 bounce. A lot of that trade is here. So if we get a big enough bounce here, then we have a chance to make room for that higher low and higher high. But for now, no signs of that yet. So I would say bears are sitting comfy and good. Yeah, no signs of really any bounces yet. All right, so let's look at gold and silver. So for me, gold is, it was looking great. Right, we zoom out. Okay, trading view, move my lines again. So we finally broke bull out of this equilibrium, right? Tiny range. This was like what, a month? More than a month. October to January. Okay, so 3 months, right? Finally broke out of this tiny range for 3 months. And we got this big fall off, which makes sense, right? If you have a range that congests for 3 months, the longer congest, the bigger the move on the breakout. And for something like gold, right, falling through makes sense. We're at all-time highs. And so as long as daily uptrend is intact, for me, no signs of red flags, honestly. And as long as daily EMA 12 is acting as support, no signs of red flag for me. But this move here is the first move where it's a slight red flag for me. We made a lower high here, right? High of here, drop, and the next move up, we don't make a new high. So this is the first time it makes that. So this is where we talk about that initial red flag. We've got to be a little bit cautious, right? is where you tighten your stop loss. Um, and because if we break here, if we break this candle low, it's 2886 right there. That's a daily downtrend confirm. At the same time, we break the daily EMA right here, um, and confirming the daily downtrend, which makes, yeah, then we probably have a little bit shift into bears. We are due for a little bit of consolidation, right? If you zoom out to the weekly, it just went straight up. So a little bit of pullback, I won't be surprised at all. Even if we pull back all the way down to this 32 point mark, this 38 point mark, right? It's still a healthy bull flag on the weekly. And that would be from top to the bottom, that's a 4.2% pullback. So honestly, no reflex at this moment, but we want to be cautious right here at this spot. This is the spot where change may happen. And we are starting to see that first initial sign that change is starting to occur. Right? We made a lower high and we close at the low of the day. And we are just like what? 0.5% from breaking that EMA. Obviously, it doesn't mean we break it. It's going to go like that. We could break and then come up, make a lower wick, and then make a new high, right? Or it can just go sideways. If we bounce right here and it goes tiny range, like that, that's even better for bulls, right? But this could pull back here, comes all the way down here, and then bounce and go sideways, right? That would be still healthy weekly bull flag. So yeah, just be a little bit cautious that we need to pull back to cool down things a little bit, which we did on Friday already. And for silver, I talked about this a lot last week too, that sometimes we get these bursts of moves where it's relative strength and then just does nothing. And then once gold drops, it drops even way more, right? So if you look at this move up, right, 5%. Let's go to the 4 hour and 4 hours. So it looks similar for you guys. So right here, you get this, right, 2.5% on gold, and you get this 5% move on silver. So that we call that relative strength. But then again, right, look at gold's chart. We have been trending on this entire wave move up while silver is going completely sideways. So if you bought silver, I don't know, here or something, anywhere in here, you're like, okay, we finally broke out, right? And next thing you know, gold just pulls back that little move it has, and we're back to here. While here is the same as here. So silver's been going sideways while gold is making gains. So if you're a person that goes long, you want bigger percentages, which makes sense, right? And gold moves a lot less than silver in terms of percentage wise. But if you had just sized up on gold, right, versus smaller size than silver, you would have made nothing here, but you'd have made a lot more on this wave up. So I still don't see that relative strength overall in the bigger picture, but we do have this small burst of relative strength sometimes on the way up. And it's hard to catch these, right? How would you catch this randomly here and get this move? Here you could have, because this was breaking out on the obviously this resistance right here, right, on the daily chart, tons of resistance, and we finally broke above it. You could have caught it and then take profit, but it, versus buying it down here and just hold all the way. It depends, right? It's a lot harder to play these where you have to be like very ninja, like you have to be either right at the spot where you see this breakout, or you set the stop buy and just don't look at it. Otherwise, it'd be tough to catch it. But for me, if I were going long, I would just play gold overall still for now, because there is a lot more resistance above for silver compared to gold. All right, that is all for you guys. If you like, share, and subscribe, you guys made this far or learn anything, and I will see you guys next week for more updates. Feel free to comment below for more questions, and check out the Patreon link or that free 15-minute book call. And have a great rest of you guys' weekend. And there's no trading tomorrow.